So speaking of teenagers, let's knock it down a couple years. Children. The amount of children that I would see at parties and events. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it was like an influencer who was like Emma Chamberlain, like, oh, she was like 14 years old or something there at an event. No, I'm talking about like just random kids at like parties, and they'll be dressed like older people, but like you can see that it's a child. And I remember one time after this, I think it was either a UNOW or a Musically meetup, me, Denzel, Alexia, Dan Hill, Nate Watts, I think that's what his name is. He does like Instagram comedy video things, I think. But we all were at this like meetup on Santa Monica Pier. We got the word that there was a party, so we like hung out around there for a little bit. Then we went to this party, and it was in this like townhouse. And I remember thinking like, what's going on? Like, I looked around because first I heard this squeaky voice. Like, first I heard this voice and I was like, okay, that sounds like a young, very young boy talking. Like, it sounds like a child. Like, who brought their little brother here? Because people are smoking, you see people doing other things, and like, it's just not a child's place, plain and simple. And I look around and I see like just amongst all the adults, like a 13-year-old girl, a 12-year-old looking boy, 14-year-old boy. And I remember I went on the balcony because I couldn't hear anything, and I told my friends, I was like, we need to go, because like I just feel so uncomfortable right now that there are children here in the mix. And then I remember this little boy, I called him Justin Bieber because he literally looked like a little mini Justin Bieber, but he looked like a 13-year-old boy. And I was like, child, you need to go home. Like, why are you here? And he told me, like, mind your business. Of course he would. I mean, he's a child. But I'm like, you literally need to go home. And call me a snitch, call me a rat, never invite me to a party again. I really don't care. But there's been times where I would literally boop, boop, boop. Hey, there's children drinking at this party. Shut her down. Yeah, there's been times when me and my friends have left and we're like, call them. Because like, that's not okay. And I know some people are going to be like, wow, you like killed the party, or you like caused the party to end. Why should adults be partying with children? Like, what's wrong with you? And like, moving forward onto like the things I saw playlist in VidCon, it's starting to get kind of like dark outside. Ooh, now they're getting moody when I like bring up VidCon. Oh my gosh, they have the nerve to invite me every year, twice a year, or playlist it is. Like, babe, I'm not coming. Like, I am not going there. I have no reason to be there. I'm sure nobody that watches my content is there either. Like, grown women, y'all are not there, I'm pretty sure. Because I look at my analytics and pretty much everybody that watches me is 18 and above. And I feel like it's not, like, social media culture is not what it used to be. So you would see, and we have all these other influencers like Vanessa exposing them, and they're actually pieces of shit. Like, why am I going to go spend $600 for a flight? And then the ticket, and then the hotel, and then our food, and our like, I'm going too deep into this. But like I was talking about children being at parties, these playlist and VidCon parties, I know that they were giving us these like when you check in, you go into this like separate section of the hotel. They give you your lanyard with your username, your ad on it. It says if you're a YouTuber or whatever you are. And then you also get this like portfolio that has a list of all the parties that are going to be going on, all the events, any giftings you can go to, any what is it called, any like musical performances if you want to go and watch them with the crowds and everything, and like where to get your food. And then they also give you like your tickets and your wristbands for parties, and your 21 plus band if you can get alcohol. Now, I was not 21, but I was still being provided the drink. It was still being given to me. And it was still being given to other people that were underage that shouldn't have been drinking either. Like, Nobody was protecting anybody. It was so normalized to see a 16-year-old beauty guru wasted. Like, I remember walking out of Disneyland. This was Playlist. VidCon? Was it Playlist or VidCon? They always have it at, like, by downtown Disney-ish. What was that place called? Or what was it? Was it VidCon or Playlist? I mean, it doesn't really matter. It was one of those. I remember we were walking out. We were going to this other party that was, like, literally a street over.
At Mint Mobile, we like to...
I saw this girl who was a very popular beauty guru from like the age of like 10. Like, I remember that's when she started popping off, like with her middle school get ready with me middle school morning routines. Like, beautiful girl. She's a mother now, I think. So I'm not talking down on her. I'm just saying it was very interesting that she was like literally maybe 16 or 17 and no one's helping her. She's walking out of this party completely wasted, like, and she falls in front of everybody. And like nobody went to help her up. Like, I was too far away to like help her. But like no one helped her. I just saw people pull their phones out, probably taking pictures of her on the floor. And it's like, this is like a teenage girl. And I was only what, a year or two older than her. Like, it just, a lot of children in places that they had no business being in. And it's crazy how you don't even have to be from America to be affected by this. She is from Denmark. She became known out there and she wanted to, you know, move to LA, be in LA. And I mean, you saw what I was doing. Like, I moved out there to make connections, try to grow my socials, just hang out, have a good time, have an experience. She wanted the same thing. And it's so funny how like we both were out there at the exact same time and we're both going through these crazy freaking situations, but we don't end up finding out that we were going through similar things until like all these years later. So it's just sad to see how common these, like, some of the stuff is. And oh my gosh, she has been through some stuff. So just to give you some of it, like, so when she came out to America, she became pretty good friends with people like Noah Cyrus, like that family, and a couple of like other influencers. And she said that only like being there for like a couple weeks or like a couple months, she was already like thrown straight into S work. Like, she was servicing very, very wealthy, very like high known celebrity men. And it's because she got caught up in that stuff via somebody else, like bringing her into it basically. And it's just insane to me that it's like she's not even from here. Like, she came out here just to like, you know, mingle and network a little bit, go to some parties, have some fun. And it's like anybody